What's going on, everybody? It's Crypto Interval back with another video. Today I'm going to be kind of just doing an overview in preparation for the HSI auctions coming up in about 8 days. So I will kind of show you guys how to use this calculator, and I also added some discounts to the market price down here. But first, let's just take a look at Hedron and Hex and kind of what Bitcoin and ETH are doing. So here, let's start with Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin is above 21K. You know, it finally broke out of our super boring range pattern that we had here. Not too sure how high it's gonna go, but we could possibly test like 22K, but you know, it's unlikely. I think we're still in a bear market, so bear markets have small pumps, so I don't think we're really gonna make any new crazy highs here. I think it's still quite bearish. So yeah, just, you know, kind of hold your horses. You know, dollar cost average if you see fit. Anything under around 20K BTC, definitely a good buying opportunity, that's for sure. Because in a couple of years you might be kicking yourself that you didn't get in. ETH as well. ETH 1630. I think it's still quite bearish. We could get back up to like 1750, 1760, but I don't really see it going too much higher than that. But you know, still dollar cost average in, small portions of your overall cash, maybe DCA in. Not financial advice, of course, but that's just personally what I'm doing. You know, I just got like a reoccurring buy for like $10 a day right now. So I just buy $10 of ETH every day. And I also just buy like $10 of Bitcoin every week. So, you know, that's how I'm DCAing right now. And then once the market trades lower, or if it does trade lower, then, you know, I'll start increasing those daily purchases. So yeah, that's just what I'm doing in terms of ETH and Bitcoin. Hex. So Hex is looking really good. We got back up to just under 5 cents, or we hit 5 cents. You know, and now we're kind of trading lower. We are, what is that? We're trading at a like 15 to 20% down from the high there. I think we'll probably just keep going sideways. If not, we could pump back up to 5 cents. You know, so maybe the 4 to 5 cent range is where we're gonna consolidate at now for a while. Unless some larger player, you know, decides to get in a position on Hex. Hedron. So this is the one I'm keeping my eye on, obviously, with the auctions coming up. I think we're either going to get a nice pump or a nice dump in Hedron. I hope it's going to be a nice pump, but it could be a buy the rumor, sell the news type event. So it could also definitely dump at the auctions. But I'm positioned enough so that, like, if it dumps or if it pumps, you know, I really don't care at this point. I just know that the project is successful, and I just can't wait to see what happens coming to the HSI auctions. So if we do get a pump up, I don't think it'll be any less than to the 63, almost 64 level. Like I think we'll at least hit those levels if we do get a nice pump. But if we get like a really, really nice pump, I think we could possibly break all-time highs. The reason for that is because the the ecosystem that Hedron intended to build is now going to be fully operational. So that's the value proposition as to why I think we could potentially clear all-time highs. When it first launched, like there was no price ceiling. It was all just speculation at the beginning. So, we pumped up high and then we just absolutely dumped hard, because people just couldn't see the value prop because the other half of the system wasn't released yet. So now that the system is being fully released, we can really start seeing how the mechanics that Alex intended this system to be really start to play out. So I think with that being said, I think we definitely could see breaking of all-time highs in Hedron. But if we don't, we could tumble back down to like 15. So just be aware. 50-60% dumps in crypto happens all the time. You just got to be prepared for that, and just only put in what you can afford to lose or be down 60-70% on for quite a while. But yeah, so I'll be keeping an eye on Hedron for sure. Icosa is actually maintaining its new price increase here. It's finding support on the 20-day moving average. So that's nice to see. I think as the T-share rate over time ratchets up, I think we'll see a considerable stability in the price of Icosa, as long as like players don't dump it down too hard. So we can see the hex to Icosa on here. So I'll invert this, and then we can, I don't want to do that. I want to switch to price in, so yeah, so it's currently one Icosa is 34.55 hex. So, we're seeing this steady increase. It's not going to slow down at all. So as we see this increase in the ratio of hex to Icosa, then the price of Icosa in USD terms is reflected by that ratio and the USD value of hex. So as the Icosa to hex ratio, or hex to Icosa ratio, goes up, and also the hex price in US dollars goes up, that acts as a multiplier for the Icosa price. So just keep that in mind. The way I look at Icosa in my portfolio is it's basically as good as hex. So it's kind of like, I want to say, the gold certificate that you used to get back in the 50s, for you would come to the bank with your $20 bill and you would get $20 worth of gold back. So that's kind of how I see Icosa, is like you can redeem your Icosa for that value in hex at any time. And the value and the number of hex that you get slowly increases over time. So I look at it as good as hex. So that's how I value my Icosa. So I will not be selling my Icosa hardly for at least, probably a couple years. Just keep on stacking that yield from the pools, recycling it, into like a stable wallet. And I'll go over that little waterfall strategy that I plan on doing in a bit here. So let's look at the T-share rate now, actually. So this chart shows to was it the beginning of 2024. So like January 2024 is the end here. You can find this on hexfire.io. You can switch the parameters. So basically we just hit 25,000 hex per T-share. And what that means is it's costing 25,000 hex staked for 1 day to get 1 T-share. So I know most people aren't staking for just 1 day, but it's also increasing the share rate on the 15-year stakes too, right? So for example, so if we take 25,000 hex times 4 cents, so a T-share essentially costs $1,000, let's say. So a 15-year T-share costs about $340 for a 555 T-share. Now that's about 8,000 hex right now. But at the end of 2023, 2024, beginning of 2024, the share rate could be 32,000. So now we times that by 4 cents. And it means that a 1 day stake will cost for 1 T-share will cost you $1,280, and a 15-year stake will cost you $422. So that's at 4 cent hex, right? So now let's say that we get to 25 cent hex. So that's gonna cost, to get 1 T-share at 25 cents, it will cost $8,000, right? So now we're getting into the realm of unaffordability of T-shares. And I think at that point, people will start valuing the B share a lot more than than they do now. So just to put that in perspective, at 25 cent hex and 32,000 hex T-share rate, a 15-year stake will cost you $2,640 for a 1 T-share staked 15 years out. It'll cost $2,640 approximately. So that's 340 times. That's like 6 times, or that's basically 8 times as much, an 8x in the cost of 15-year 1 T-share stake. So, you know, what I'm personally going to be doing, once we kind of get the bottom of the bear here coming out, I think what I'm going to be doing is really trying to increase my back half of my hex staking ladder. You know, I've basically got a pretty solid ladder, but you know, seeing those numbers and stuff, it's really, I'm really going to be pushing to really strengthen up that back half of my hex staking ladder. You know, from like the from like the 7 to 15 year areas. I think, you know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to really start stiffening up the thickness of how many stakes you have coming out, because like T-shares in 10 years from now, you know, okay, let's just play around here for a bit. So 10 years, so 2032. you know, like 90k hex, like 90,000 hex. Let's just say, hex is 25 cent. So that's $22,500 for one T-share for stake for 1 day. And now for 15-year stake at that, you're looking at like 7,500. So like, hex probably won't be 25 cents. It could be $1, $2, $4. Like, we don't really know. But what we do know is that it's going to be a hell of a lot more expensive for one T-share. And the people that are getting into the system in 10 years from now, well, they're going to be valuing B shares the way that we value T shares today, and possibly M shares. So, really getting those T shares right now is very important if you believe in the power of Hex and if you think that it's going to be around for a very long time. I personally think it will be, because this is easily one of the best investment vehicles I've ever come across. So, just keep that in mind. You don't want to be 10 years from now and really kicking yourself over probably one of the best investments of your entire life. But yeah, so really just make sure, try to stack as many T-shares as you can right now. So now let's get into the HSI auctions here. So this is the Crypto Sloth calculator. Thank you, Crypto Sloth, for this fine work. I love using this and using it in my videos. I also like trying to do a little bit of modification and fill in some of the things that I like to look at that aren't necessarily within this calculator. So to use this, so it's going to be very tacky, I think, to actually calculate the values of these HSIs, unless the front end is like really nice, but just in case the front end isn't like super nice and descriptive, just figure out how to use this calculator before the HSI auctions start happening, just so if you want to bid on stuff, you can at least have a good idea of what the values are going to be. Me personally, I think I'm going to be using like 3 to 5% of my Hedron, maybe to just grab a couple T shares, and then I might decide like, hey, do I want to sell that back, or or maybe I just might keep them as 555 stakes, and just basically try to get them at a pretty good discount. That's something that I definitely will consider, just keeping them instead of buying them back or doing the HSI buyback. But that'll be a game time decision for me. So when you're looking at bidding, so you put in your Hedron bid. So let's say you bid 50 million. Hex is at 4 cents. So these are the prices that you put in as kind of static. So Hex 4 cents is whatever the Hex price is at the time, and then the current Hedron price, the current price of Icosa, the current T-share rate, and then you'd put in the current Hex day, and then the average assumed payout in Hex per day. So that's kind of your basis there. You would switch your bid if you wanted to like look at different stakes or whatever. You'd switch how much you're bidding. So this is the information that you put in from the HSI that you're looking at. So you put in the amount of T-shares, the stake length, the Hedron launch bonus multiplier. That could be a 2, 3, 4, 10x, whatever it says. And then you put in the day, the Hex day that the stake was started, the days that the days minted from the Hedron, and then your Icosa, and it pops up with the mintable Icosa. So this calculator will basically tell you if the bid is less than the mintable Icosa, yes. The bid is less than the stake cost, yes. The bid less cost of stake plus yield plus mintable Hedron. So you're really looking for all three, but you could possibly get away with just two. It really depends on what your intentions are for that stake. So you're basically going to have to come in here, punch in your bid every time, and really just kind of grind it out if you want to capture some of these HSIs for a good deal. What I'm going to be doing is looking for some 1 to 2 T-share stakes, probably about 1 T-share, and waiting till like the last couple hours, and then really just honing in on those stakes that I've picked out. And I'm gonna try to only bid like up to 3 times on one stake, just because like the gas and stuff like that, it might be expensive. And then basically for every bid that I do, I'm gonna calculate it, and then I'll update these. So currently 1 T-share is $341. It's 8,355 hex, and its worth is 91 million, almost 92 million Hedron, and these are 555s, obviously. So what I've done here is you can calculate how much Hedron it would be at a 10% discount, 25% discount, 40% discount. So after you've figured out what the value is worth at no discount in Hedron, using this calculator here and using the price of Hedron, then you can basically start bidding. Let's say you start bidding at a 75% discount to the actual value, market value of that hex stake. So then you can just kind of watch it, punch in your numbers, and just look. And as the bids go higher, now you can see like, okay, it's at 55 million Hedron bid, so that's a 40% discount. Okay, it's at a 68 million bid, that's a 25% discount. It's at 82 million, now it's a 10% discount. So then you can just kind of see where the discounts are at in kind of your own numbers, because it's going to be really crazy and probably hard to keep track of. So it's important to just keep adjusting your numbers. Like if the Hedron price is going up, just come over to here and then kind of redo your numbers a little bit for the current value, just so you can really see what's going on and what the actual discount is going to be. But you could also do these numbers higher than the current price, just so you don't have to play around with them as much, which actually I might do. So yeah, it's kind of important to know what discount, if you are getting a discount on the actual hex stake. This calculator will give you if it's a good deal, and if it's less than all of this here. So like if all 3 of these say yes, then you're getting a good deal. And then by formulating your own numbers down here, you can actually see like what the discount is. So yeah, hopefully that explained it fairly well. This is more of a complex thing to talk about. But if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Crypto Winter Bull out.